I'm really troubled that you seem to make excuses for these kids when what they really need is a role model, someone to emphasize education in the home so that they will have an out from this situation and not fall back on excuses. That's all that's available to them. That sounds almost like a racist attitude to me.
I'm not making excuses for anyone. I'm attempting to provide you with a perspective on this matter that clearly is not part of your worldview. This is not about excuses at all. Have you ever been into some of these communities where the conditions that you are describing exist?
Oh, absolutely. I take my students home. I bring their projects to them when they make them in my class.
Mm-hmm.
And the trouble is, it's a small minority that cause these problems. I have other students who, even though there is public assistance available, will take a job, work hard, support their family. I have a student who's 17 years old, has 2 children, receives no public assistance because he wants to do it on his own, and he works a full-time job in addition to coming to school. Now, there's someone who I hold up as a role model, and I cannot do enough for him. Anytime he needs something, I'm there for him because he's taking the hard road, the hard right thing over the easy wrong thing.
Well, that's very noble of you, and it is not that. Clearly, there are some people who commit crimes of opportunity. Clearly, there are some people who engage in conduct that is undesirable, that endangers their own welfare and the safety of the people around them. And I'm not talking about those people. I'm talking about the vast majority of people who are forced to live on a day-to-day basis in conditions of abject poverty, where the physical infrastructure that they occupy, where the availability of services, everything from sanitation to transportation to law enforcement, where these services are not available to them at the same level as they are to people in well-to-do communities, where they live in conditions of neglect. These are people who are described by Eugene Robinson in his book Disintegration as the abandoned. I'm talking here about people whose conditions are reduced to practically words defy me here.
Now, do you have experience in these communities?
As a matter of fact, I do.
Doesn't reflect my experience.
Okay. As a matter of fact, I do. And one of the things I'm trying to do is to avoid naming specific communities.
Right, sure.
I'm trying to avoid that because I do not wish to tarnish these or prejudice these communities even further. But when you live in certain kinds of conditions where you believe that where every day survival becomes an issue because the rest of the society has abandoned your community, the reality there is an entirely different thing from living in a suburb or living in a middle class enclave somewhere where you can rely on public services and where you know that you are going to be treated with a modicum of respect and where you know that your quality of life is assured as long as you play by the rules. In these other communities, it doesn't matter whether you play by the rules. But I'm going to leave it there. I'm sure